Sean Strickland was forced into fighting a fight different than he intended to because Dricus was so much better than he was supposed to be. That's why Sean Strickland didn't fight that fight like he thought he was going to fight. He didn't fight it by choice. He did that because he had no answers. He couldn't do anything to Plessis. He couldn't have done anything different. And there was frustration. There was honestly frustration on my part on the side. I was like, same fight.
It talks about fighting like a madman and going to the death and all these kind of things. People do expect more. And it's, as I said, he never switched up anything. Now, granted, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't have to fight like a madman. But it was broke, and it did need fixing because it didn't work the first time and it didn't work the second time. The reality is, this is what we sign up for. He's been in there with him. He knows how dangerous he was. So he shouldn't have talked about that. He should have been like, listen, I'm going to be technical. I'm going to do what I need to do to win. He didn't try and change his style. He didn't shoot any takedowns. He didn't try and grapple. He didn't follow up with more right hands, left hooks. He didn't throw any head kicks or anything like that.
Let me tell you this, when I heard the boos, I don't put up boring fights. I don't have the ability because I don't know how to fight like that. When I heard the boos, in my mind, 100% was towards him. And I was like, come on, dude, fight me. Fight me. This was before the nose, before that. This was in the first and second round, I was piecing him up. In that third round, it was like he was kind of just evading. I mean, I can't just be stupid about it. And I got super frustrated, and because, like I always say, people pay a lot of money to be here.
Like, there's no retail business in the world you can sell something openly line that you with the product, and that is a very bad feeling. I just saw something different with Sean. I really thought, as a Sean supporter, I can live with this. The only thing Sean ever wanted was a fair adjudication to see if he in fact should have that championship. That's all he wanted. That's what he got. And he got his ass kicked in the process.
Sean talked the big game before the fight, saying that he was going to fight to the death, and there wasn't much of that. And so I can understand why a lot of people were disappointed in the fight. And we don't want anyone to die, but you understand the insinuation, like lay it all on the line. Each and every time they went to the corner, each and every time we heard Eric Nicksick talk to him, who I think is one of the very best in the game and keeps it real and is able to communicate with his fighters, he kept telling him, let's go. This is too predictable. You have to get going. You have to mix it up. You have to throw more than ones and twos. You have to go for the finish in the fifth round. There was no sugarcoating. And at times it seemed like Sean didn't really want to listen to him. It was wild stuff.
I can't say much for the strategy because it seemed like he literally came in to do the same exact thing he did the first time. Like, there was really no change up in the course of action of what he was looking to do to try to take the belt back. The first fight was a lot closer than the second fight.
I understand that there can be, in certain cases, extremely mitigating circumstances that make judgment of any one individual performance hard to come by. And I can certainly afford Sean Strickland that in this particular case. But the body of work is what the body of work is. He is a defensively oriented fighter who has tried to rebrand himself, or at least retool his skill set to be a little bit more offensive to get himself over the hump. And not only did he not do that, he actually regressed.
Strickland was not listening to his corner. He was not as disciplined as he needed to. He was not making the adjustment. All of those things put together was a huge problem.
And Strickland, again, going back to him, I love him, but going back to him, he set the table with the jab, but he didn't eat enough with the right hand. And I got to give his corner credit late in the fight. They were great. They had two guys, but the first guy, he was great.
Eric Nicksick. Yeah.
But he was great. He was honest. He was strong. He no BS, trying to be friends and try not hurt his feelings. I don't want to get fired. I want to be nice. Yeah. And this ain't a nice game. This is fighting. You haven't noticed elbows, kicks, broken noses? No, I got to tell you, you ain't doing enough. And he did.
Eric Nicksick is a great coach. He's telling him, and Sean looks at him and just goes, yeah, I know. like, well, if you know, then do something. When your corner is telling you you need to win this round, you need to get him out of there, there's no sense of urgency. It's like if he can't get it done doing what he's doing, then he's not. Then there's no like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna fuck. He's not doing the Max Holloway point to the ground. Let's see what. That's not him.
No,
that's not him. And I don't know, as a coach or as a promoter or anyone else, any other fighter, I'm thinking to myself, like, this is it. This is what you've been like. You're not getting another title shot for a long time. Not the things that come out of your mouth. That's one.
No. Yeah.
Not by the way, not like the things that you've said. Not in like all the build up. It's doesn't work anymore now. If you're gonna just fight like that, like it's done.
The only way I can say, for fans of Gegard Mousasi, and I'm a big fan of Gegard Mousasi, always have been, there are times when he looks great, and there are times when Gegard would look like disinterested, like he didn't want to be there that day or something, and he would kind of sleepwalk through fights, and he would lose, and that's kind of what it reminded me of with Sean Strickland. He just looked almost disinterested in the fight. As I was watching it, I remember thinking, like, what is he? Does he think Dricus du Plessis is just going to dry up and blow away? Or, I mean, he wasn't initiating, wasn't stepping forward, and every now and then he would crack du Plessis with an overhand or something and pop his head back, and then he'd reset and go back to what he was doing, rather than, all right, take advantage of that.
When you're completely motivated and you've given yourself over to the game, you don't let those things get in the way. You don't let everybody look at all the chance. I bet you Dricus could have found a reason that he didn't perform. He could have been, hey man, listen, I got a lot of stuff going on. But champions don't do that. Like when you are motivated, nothing gets in the way.
Just pressure and activity and volume just was able to make a guy like Sean Strickland like hesitate like you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Strickland, again, he fights everybody the same. I think if I'm a middleweight and I'm watching this fight, mix it with Sean, kick him, strike him.
Sean Strickland has never been the best middleweight in the world. He just took opportunity when it came and got lucky. Last night he was exposed for what he was. Very one-dimensional, all talk, no backup. I thought to speak the way he did all week, to talk about volume, talk about pressure, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then get in there and just look like, to me, that his only desire last night was to survive 25 minutes with Dricus du Plessis. I thought was quite pathetic, and I'm so disappointed in him. And to be honest, I believe he will tumble out of the rankings and tumble fast. He's done now. Wow. That's over. Bring on the next challengers.
Well, we just have to admit it now. We have to admit it. Sean Strickland is not who he says he is. He's not who he says he is. We want him to be something. He wants to be something, but he's not that guy. He's not the guy who's going to go to the death, to the death. He didn't go to the death. He didn't even go to the well. He didn't even go deep.
What really gets me, and there's a lot of frustration, is there has just been a consistent drumbeat about going to war, leaving it all out there, dying for you guys, and it never even gets close. But dude, I've never seen a more boring fighter graded on a bigger curve than Sean Strickland.
Yeah, I'm just, we all watch the fight, and we all heard the guy talk about to the death, Dutchman, to the death. This motherfucker talks such a big game, and then he bitches out and basically quits in a fight after he breaks his nose. Like, what are you worried about? You have a title fight. You have world titles on the line. That's all you want. That's all you dreamed of. And you're more worried about fixing your nose than winning and biting down on your mouthpiece and doing what you got to do. I mean, it shows your true character. That's the cage is all about. When has he ever put his ass on the line and bit down and really went for it through a whole process of a fight, not just the last 10 seconds of a round? I mean, the guy is nonstop. I mean, he's not finishing any big fights. I'll tell you that.
I hate Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's a clown. If I ever get a chance to fight him, I would definitely do it. I would sign on a dotted line any day of the week. So Dana, if you guys need a middleweight fight,